Our next speaker is Frank Bucolo. Frank is a supply chain consultant at Slimstock. He has worked in the supply chain and logistics sectors within the automotive, food, and retail spaces for over 20 years. He specializes in warehouse and purchase optimization, consisting of storage solution design, inventory accuracy management, WMS, and vendor management purchase improvements. Please welcome your next speaker, Frank Bucolo.
Thanks for the intro, Dan. Hi everyone, I'm Frank Bucolo. I'm a senior consultant here at Slimstock in Australia. We've been here in Australia based since 2018. And we've been supporting businesses improving inventory management and purchase optimization. And today we're here to talk about how Slimstock can help translate your business strategy into a business strategy as well. So what we're hoping you're going to take out of today is how we can identify your business strategy is one thing. And then once we've identified that is what are those benefits in managing that inventory strategy as well. And then of course, once we do have that information, where do you start? However, before we can really understand your business strategy, there's always those underlying questions that we get. Okay, so here at Slimstock, we're always talking to companies who are looking for help and support and guidance in inventory management and purchase optimization. No matter what industry they're in, could be wholesale, retail, pharmaceutical, automotive. Whoever we talk to, we always get the same questions asked to us: is when should we order and how much should we order as well? However, to answer that question, the businesses have challenges internally to answer those questions. And why is that? Well, different parts of the business have always got their own targets, their own goals. So for example, procurement, they want to order as much as they can at the lowest cost. Okay. Sales, of course, they want to sell as much as they can if it's available to them. And on the opposite side of that is finance. They want to make sure that they're lowering costs. They don't want to hold too much inventory, so their costs they can reduce that working capital. And category management, they want to introduce new items into the business. Not really focused on what's currently there as well. So, in saying that, you're always going to have the conflict of interest in regards to inventory management in any business that you're working in. So then what happens is no real clear strategy, okay? And some of the examples of what could happen because of poor inventory management and not being able to answer those questions properly is you might have back orders that are happening because you're putting in random orders in regards to rush orders as well, which are very ad hoc. Which of course will lead into higher costs because you're putting in more purchase orders. And then if you're ordering the wrong amount of stock or the wrong items, then your stock levels are going to be a lot more higher because you're holding stock that you're not actually going to get rid of, which then in turn could lead to obsolescence as well. So you're actually throwing away or writing off a lot of stock too, which is costing the business a lot of money. That of course leads to additional labour, so more overwork is being created because of that reason. And then because of all these reasons that you do have, there's a lot of firefighting happening, so you're not actually getting to that main cause of what the issue is. And of course, the last thing we want to see is customer dissatisfaction. The last thing we want to do is not have the stock there for our customer. So how do we get to a solution collaboratively? How can we get the internal stakeholders on the same page? Well, really, we need to be more transparent and more demanding for the customers, okay? We want to make sure that being transparent, we can find the right strategy and solution to entice those customers as well. So for example, we want to ease that working capital. We really want to get more bang for our buck that's out there. We want to show our customers and the world that we are open to change. We're efficient in what we do. It could be that we want to be more dynamic in the way that we go out there and entice our customers and what their needs are as well. That could be a shorter product life cycle, so we're turning over a lot better. It could be that we're growing our assortment and different types of products out there to demand the customers. Or we could be looking at different avenues also that are out there to increase that customer demand, B2B, B2C as well, or really that multi-channel type of scoping out there. It could be more collaborative with your suppliers. And what you might even get from that is your suppliers are going to start competing against each other for your business as well. And really, what is that unique selling proposition that you do have? What makes you stand out from the others that are out there? So to get to and answer those questions, firstly, we really need to understand our supply chain and what our strategy is. So looking at the supply chain management hierarchy, that can enable you to make that translation to answer those questions and make those decisions. Yeah. So really, we start with being really strategic. So the what, establish those objectives, put in those policies. What is that operational footprint, and then how much. So that real tactical approach. So what are the resources that are required to match that supply and demand? The when and where. So the monitoring, the scheduling, the tracking, the planning, operational wise, and then the execution side of it. So the do, really execute the plan at the end of that. So being transparent and understanding the right questions for the business will really help you answer when to order and how much to order. So now that we're starting to see that transparency and everyone is really focused on some outcomes by working together through the supply chain strategy, we really need to make that translation from the business strategy to that inventory strategy. So now we need to identify what is your business strategy. So the most common way to identify your business strategy is to use the Tracy and Ware-Seamer model. And that distinguishes between the three different business strategies that are out there. So you got the product leadership, customer intimacy, and operational excellence. So let's start with product leadership. So that's really around focusing on having that greatest product. Really standing out from the others that are out there, really different and unique in what you do. You usually hold a few products or a small product range itself. A perfect example of this is Apple. They haven't got a massive broad range. Their turnover is very quick of remodeling to a new upgrade, and they really stand out from other companies that are out there too. Customer intimacy. So that's where you really focus on the needs for the customer. You're delivering the right service to fulfill the customer requirements, and you do everything for your customer themselves. So a good example of this one would be Singapore Airlines, Amazon as well, where Amazon, for a good example, is where you got a broad range of products to satisfy customer demand. Okay, so they're not really focused on selling at the lowest cost, but it's more about satisfying the customer, so they do keep coming back, and that's their goal. And then the last one is that operational excellence. Is this where you fall into? That you're really focusing on the customer's the delivery and reliability to the customer. So it's really about being lean in what you do, identifying those gaps within the business, reducing costs, and then pushing those costs back into the business and lowering costs to your customer as well. So it's really focused on that efficiency. Okay, so a perfect example of something like that here in Australia could be Kmart, where they've got that small, they've got a really low variant of items, and they've got a high turnover as well at a very low cost. So the question is, can you see your business strategy here? Do you fall under the product leadership strategy model? Do you stand out from the others? Is what you do very superior in image? Or are you more customer focused? That your goal is to provide the best service to the customer to keep that customer coming back to you. Or are you more focused on more efficiency and reducing costs within the business itself? Are you more focused on bringing the lowest cost to improve the business and lower cost to your customer as well? So I hope that really provides an understanding of those three different business models. And now that we've found your business strategy, it will help identify the right inventory strategy to lead you in that right direction. Okay, so as we said, we'll go back to product leadership. So again, Apple is a really good example. Another one could be Tesla or Harley Davidson, of course. Their supply chain design are very quick and agile in what they do. We know, especially with Apple, that their change of product range is constantly changing when they upgrade to a new model. And they're really focusing on avoiding having dead stock as well. So they want to deplete that stock out and bring in that new model as well. So their inventory focus is really focused on removing dead stock altogether. Customer intimacy, as we said, really focus on the customer. So they're really reliable and agile in what they do. They're very broad in their product range to satisfy the customer. And their inventory focus is to make sure they do not have stock outs, because they want to be there to satisfy their customer. So the avoidance of stock outs is very high for them in their inventory focus. And of course, operational excellence, as we said, they're very efficient and lean in what they do. Their product range is a lot smaller, but they really focus in inventory around that stock turnover. Okay, that's their goal there. So something to consider really here is, now that you've identified your business strategy, can you really see those benefits in inventory strategies associated to each of those business strategy? And if you can, it's the time to start is now. So now that we've confirmed that business strategy and inventory solution, it can really help you determine your inventory objectives and budget for improving your business needs as well. But the question is, how active do you want to be? Do you just want to be a participant? You just want to be just part of the industry where your values of winning and losing aren't too high? You just want to be part of it? Or are you a black and white where I'm either going to win or either going to lose? Is that your approach? Or you'll do whatever you can to win at all costs? So having a clear objective and your budget, now that you know your business strategy and inventory strategy, will help you improve your inventory management moving forward. So just to get into a little bit more about those objectives. So based on the objectives that you have made for your business and the budget, really to what extent are you really following to reach those objectives as well? So for example, going back to the previous slide when we spoke about, do you want to win at all costs? You'll do whatever you can to win. Well, there's some questions that are out there really. Is your assortment, is it under control? Do you know exactly how to phase in and phase out an item? Is it very clear and concise within the business of your stock range? And do you have a really strong solid logic behind and with your values and what the company agrees to as well? And what about your master data? Is your master data 99% accurate? Really, you don't want to have any gaps within your master data itself. You want to make sure the physical flow and the information process to register all movements is correct. Therefore, you want to make sure that you really trust your data in your system as well. And what about your parameters? So, things like MAQ, lead times, review times, order frequencies, etc. Are they up to date? Do you frequently review them? Is there collaboration with internal stakeholders as well in regards to that to make sure everything is up to date? And what about your product life cycles as well? That's another thing. Do you phase in an item and phase out an item correctly? Are the parameters set up so this happens efficiently? Inventory management, of course, your business rules. So all business logic that we can apply on the system and make sure that everyone is aware of what happens in the situation. So for example, does everyone know that when you transfer inventory within the network itself, what the criteria are, the values and the volume, that within the region that can make sure that the transfer happens efficiently. And then the last step, of course, is make sure everything's aligned with your supply chain as well. And that's probably the most difficult one too. Is information being shared with customers and suppliers? Is it accurate data? Are you being very transparent in what you do out there? Have you considered the risk of the incorrect data that you're sending out there? Also, do you know that if your customer provides you forecast data, do you know if they take into account things like promotions, trends, seasonality, product life cycle information? All that does need to be considered. So really, you want to make sure that your objective has become really smart. So that's smart, so it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound as well. So really, your company can use these blocks, and we use them a lot here at Slimstock to help you achieve those objectives as well. So now that we've identified your business strategy and we've found that inventory solution, let's look into the benefits of an integrated approach into the forecasting and inventory management. However, what would happen if we don't integrate our forecast and inventory management as well? So you could have a really good forecasting plan, but if you're not integrating your inventory management with that, so if you're not considering things like unreliable customers, MOQs, supply shutdowns, anything like that, if you're not having that integrated, then your output's still going to be inefficient to your business needs as well. So it could lead to transporting over multiple locations, high transport costs. You could have overstocks, so you could have write-offs in the long run. Are your lead times, are they correct as well? So there's a lot of things to factor if your forecasting and your inventory management are not integrated. So again, what happens when you forecast at an item location as well? So if you do have multiple locations out there, just because it's forecasted at a certain demand at one location doesn't mean it's going to be the same at another location as well. So what you need to make sure is that you're forecasting on an item level itself, and again, considering seasonality, review times, lead times, everything needs to be considered on that item level itself. You can't really plan your forecast on assumption or gut feelings. You really have to use information on the strategy to move forward. And really, you really want to have that good balance in inventory. So to provide a better integration into that, what I'm going to do is show you an example here that we use at Slimstock within our Slimform method within our software here at Slimstock. So basically, step one, what we do, we obtain your data, your transaction sales history. And what we do, we classify your items, each item at each location into a demand pattern. Okay, it could be a fast-moving item, it could be slow, it could be lumpy, it could be a seasonal product. Okay, so we can cater and classify those items. Then from there, what we can do is create the most optimized forecast and demand plan moving forward, and that's a rolling forecast that moves forward. And that takes into account things like seasonality, promotions, product life cycle. All that is considered as part of that optimized forecast moving forward as well. Then from there, what we can do is provide the most optimized order level and advice moving forward. We know the lead times, the review times, any supply reliability is catered in as part of that to calculate that order level and advice for you. And that's also including a dynamic buffer stock as well. And why? Well, we want to make sure that you get the most optimized replenishment moving forward. So we want to make sure that whenever it spits out the order recommendation, we want to make sure that it's not ordering too much and not too little, and ordering just enough for you, the right place at the right time. So in our software, everything I've mentioned is fully automated. And basically around that is it's managed by exception. So anything that does fall away from the forecast will be managed by exception as well to notify you. So in the end, by understanding your business strategy and adopting the right inventory strategy on the right decisions, this will provide a right balance of costs and services to help improve your inventory management moving forward. So we've identified your business strategy, We've answered the right questions with the supply chain strategy, and they've adopted that inventory strategy on that. Now, what I'd like to do is really take that one step further as well. So really understand how technology can help optimize your inventory management plan moving forward as well. So before we do that, let's just recap a little bit. So we start with your business strategy. We've identified what your business strategy is. It's either product leadership, optimal excellence, or customer intimacy. From that, we've identified your inventory strategy. So we've identified which are the right tools to help you move forward to manage your inventory management. And then what we can do from here, we can begin the process and set a foundation and the rules and the right results to add another step to automate these decisions to further improve that inventory management as well. So the results are based on facts instead of a gut feeling. So demand capture, which is your performance, your statistics with demand profiling and forecast methods, moving to your forecast enrichments with intelligence, managed by exception as well. But of course, we can't do that without the right people, technology, and process as well. Okay. So going back to these takeaways, so I hope we've been able to identify what your business strategy is. The benefit, and then the benefits from managing that inventory strategy from your business strategy, and now you know where to start. So now that you know that plan, who can basically help you with that? Well, here at Slimstock, we specialize in inventory management and purchase optimization. So we can make sure that you can answer those questions, when to order and how much to order, and do that dynamically and automatically. Our goal is to make sure that you have the right stock at the right place at the right time. So we are a global company. As I said, we are locally based here in Australia since 2018. We have over 1,000 customers worldwide. We are active in 50 plus countries around the world. And a really good one is this year, every working day this year, we've signed off a new contract, a new project every working day of this year, which has been great. Also, we're very passionate in supply chain and business improvement as well. So our knowledge of supply chain is really the core of what we do is also. We have research centres and consultancy projects that we do support our customers and others out there if need be. And it really gives us a higher market insight to provide the customers the right answers they need. So a lot of our 300 plus professionals within Slimstock have supply chain experience behind them. So what we do, we transfer that inventory optimization and theory and practice through to the Slimstock Academy. And we're really constantly developing and adding new features to our software, our Sim4 tool that can link to any type of ERP system to help optimize inventory and provide the right answers to when to order and how much to order. So customer satisfaction is really important to us as well. We really pride ourselves on that retention rate of 96%. So a lot of the customers who started with us 25 years ago are still with us today. And that's something here at Slimstock that we're really proud of. So thank you for your time. I really hope that we've been able to help you identify your business strategy and really understand your inventory strategy and where to start from that too. However, if you do want some more information on anything also regarding inventory management and purchase optimization, feel free to reach out to us here at Slimstock Australia. But thank you for your time.